Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
We're starting with breaking news this evening. A North Dakota teenager is dead and another man is facing charges after a rollover crash in a stolen vehicle near Jamestown. It happened around 4:30 Tuesday morning, about 5 miles east of Jamestown. Troopers say 54-year-old Wilmer Nadeau of Fargo was driving east on I-94 when his pickup hit the median and rolled. Authorities say a 17-year-old boy was thrown from the pickup and died from his injuries at the scene. Nadeau was taken to a Jamestown hospital for treatment and was arrested for DUI after he was released from the hospital. The pickup involved in the crash came back as stolen from the Spiritwood, North Dakota area. The North Dakota Highway Patrol is handling the investigation of the crash, while the Stutsman County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation of the stolen vehicle. A growing number of people turn to social yesterday's possible abduction. Those kinds of online posts get a lot of shares and are powerful, but they can also create panic for no reason. Valley News Team's crime and safety reporter Nicole Johnson shows us the thin line between helping prevent a bad situation and doing more harm than good.
The latest post that has people on edge: this tannish older Suburban that's been spotted in Detroit Lakes, Davenport, Kindred, and Hawley. Multiple scared moms posted about the vehicle on Facebook, saying the men inside are creepy and are approaching people. Turns out, Hawley police tell us it's nothing to be concerned about. Just men selling Kirby vacuums door to door. Much like this story we already told you about. After investigating this white van that was freaking a lot of people out, it was just men delivering phone books.
A lot of times, if you share a message and you don't know the entirety of it, or if you've heard it from someone else and it's secondhand and you don't know for sure what it is and what you're sharing, it can incite, you know, I wouldn't say like a mini riot, but it can incite, you know, panic in people.
While sharing on Nextdoor and Facebook can help prevent crimes and remind people to protect themselves. If posts are exaggerated, it could do harm.
As parents, we want to protect our littles, and we don't want to go somewhere where there's suspicious activity happening. So it's also important to make sure that if you're going to share information, that you're sharing it in its entirety, and that you say that we've reported this to our local police department. They are looking into it.
And most importantly, posting online certainly doesn't take the place of calling police.
If something seems suspicious, you always trust your gut instinct. We would rather come out and find out that it was nothing than to not come out there and find out that it was something that we could have prevented.
In Fargo, Nicole Johnson, Valley News Live.
Police want to remind you they cannot see posts on Nextdoor, even if you tag them in a post. So you have to directly message them on the site. And a heads up, it's not monitored 24/7. We have new information for you now on a report of a possible gun being fired in the Walmart parking lot in South Fargo yesterday. Police tell us today they now believe a firearm was not even fired. Joe Anderson with the Fargo Police Department says that the investigation is still pending, but there are no witnesses to support the original claim. Police responded to the Walmart off of 52nd Avenue after a woman called police saying that someone had pulled up alongside her and fired a shotgun at her. But when police arrived on the scene, the woman who made the call was nowhere to be found, and witnesses say they did not hear a gunshot. That rain we saw this morning might not be enough, but it sure was welcome. Hutch, pretty quiet now, though.
Indeed, it is a beautiful evening across the valley. A 35/100ths of an inch in the rain gauge here in South Fargo, varying amounts across the metro area from 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch or so. Here's a look at our afternoon. And boy, did things become hazy as temperatures rose through the 70s. We did see that haze making the blue sky hard to see. What was that? Well, we have some serious fires taking place in Canada. Now, the visible satellite imagery is showing this faint haze moving into the northern reaches of North Dakota. The fires taking place all the way to the west in British Columbia, riding the jet stream over the Rockies and into the northern plains. So the hazy skies will continue this evening as we look at our live shot across the Fargo area. 5:52 a.m. tomorrow, the time of sunrise, but another round of morning showers possible for many of our parched areas. I'll have details on the timing of that, whether you can expect rain in your forecast, and more strong thunderstorms to talk about. Details here in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Sach. Bail is set at $1 million for a Fergus Falls man accused of shooting at police officers in a standoff there over the weekend. Theodore Tide is facing 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder. He's also being held on 6 other charges, ranging from assault to terrorizing. All of that stems from an incident Saturday afternoon when someone told police he or she had been threatened by Tide. That resulted in a 3-hour standoff. A negotiator brought an end to it. No one was hurt. Tide's first court appearance is set for Monday morning. The Fargo man accused of cutting a man who offered him a ride in the downtown area is facing up to 10 years in jail if he's found guilty. 36-year-old Aaron Knutson is facing felony counts of aggravated assault and terrorizing with a dangerous weapon. The charges stem from an incident last Saturday. Police say Knutson got into an argument with 2 men who were in the car that offered him a ride. That's when Knutson allegedly cut the victim's neck. The victim was treated for his injuries and is expected to be okay. Knutson is due back in court in August. The North Dakota Department of Health has confirmed the first human cases of West Nile virus this year. The 2 cases are in Lemoore and Barnes counties. Neither of them were hospitalized for the illness. 3 birds have also tested positive for the virus in Grand Forks. Health officials are reminding people to protect themselves from mosquito bites by using insect repellents with DEET, limiting outdoor activities between dusk and dawn, and keeping grass around your home trimmed. Symptoms of West Nile include a fever, head and body aches, and in several cases, confusion. 85 people had West Nile virus in North Dakota last year. 28 were hospitalized and 2 died. West Nile has also been found in mosquitoes in Minnesota this year, but so far there are no human cases. Senate Republicans keep facing the same problem as they try to overhaul the nation's health care laws. After the latest bid to repeal and replace Obamacare failed to get enough support, GOP leadership and President Trump called for a clean repeal. But that measure looks doomed too. Seth Lemon reports from Capitol Hill.
Pen in hand.
President Trump is expressing his disappointment with Republicans on their latest plan to repeal and replace Obamacare.
For 7 years, I've been hearing repeal and replace from Congress, and I've been hearing it loud and strong. And then when we finally get a chance to repeal and replace, they don't take advantage of it.
Opposition from moderate and conservative Republicans sunk the most recent version of a GOP health care overhaul. Now, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell plans to call a vote on a clean repeal, but he doesn't seem to have enough support for that either.
I think that would create great anxiety for individuals who rely on the ACA. I believe it would cause the insurance markets to go into turmoil.
At least 3 GOP senators said they'd vote no on repeal only. Others argue it would push them to get something done.
We've got to put pressure on this body to fix this mess.
Senate Democrats are united in their opposition to the now failed GOP plan and to any repeal-only legislation.
There have to be good faith efforts to build on the Affordable Care Act, not repeal it.
House Republicans, who passed their own repeal and replace bill, are still hopeful the Senate will get something done.
We've got a promise to keep, and also we need to step ahead of the problem that this law is collapsing.
We're not going to own it.
Tuesday, President Trump said let Obamacare fail, and then Democrats would work with Republicans on what happens next. Seth Lemon for CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The vote for a clean repeal could come as early as tomorrow. And even though the numbers aren't there to pass it, the Republican Senate leadership is looking to get lawmakers on the record. The Minnesota State Patrol is asking for your help in finding a vehicle that was involved in a hit-and-run crash near Wadena last week. Officers say a bicyclist was hit on the night of July 4th on Highway 10 west of Aldrich. Investigators say the bicyclist was trying to turn onto 193rd Avenue when she was hit by an unknown vehicle. The only description given is that it was dark red or maroon and likely has damage to the front right corner. Anyone with information is asked to call the Minnesota State Patrol at 651-582-1415. Parents in North Dakota will be seeing some changes for their most precious cargo next month. Changes to the state's child passenger safety law will go into effect August 1st. And that means children 8 years and younger are required to ride in a car seat or a booster seat unless they are taller than 4 feet 9 inches. Kids 8 through 17 years must be properly secured by a seatbelt. The law carries a penalty of a $25 fine and 1 point against your driver's license. This extends the time kids are required to be in a child restraint by 1 year. In our schemes and ripoffs tonight, the Better Business Bureau says if you get a letter saying you have unclaimed property, that it could be a scam. The BBB says a scam is floating around where unclaimed property impersonators try to collect fees from people who might have accounts or assets sitting at the state level. The BBB defines unclaimed property as accounts or assets held in financial institutions and companies that have had no activity or account holder contact with the owner for 1 year or more. This includes savings accounts, checking accounts, refunds, overpayments, and the contents of safety deposit boxes. We have much more on this. For that, head to valleynewslive.com and click on this story. Area dancers will work on their skills and technique this weekend at a big convention. Dance studios from around the area have teamed up once again to host the Momentum Dance Convention this Saturday. All ages and skill levels can take part in classes with genres like ballet, tap, musical theater, and more.
I like Momentum because it brings together a bunch of different teachers and styles and other dancers that I've seen at competitions and compete against. And I think it just brings us together to celebrate one thing that we all love to do and we all participate in. So I think that's really special.